Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the victims rest in peace. Condolence to the families and may the correct justice be served. Today I'd like to analyze the footage made by Chaos Sector Reports. They made a couple of clips about the Linda Lane footage. And I really believe they did have some interesting analyzation on it. I hope they do make some other clips. I was actually watching this clip and I found it very interesting. I just wanted to react to this clip since Who Did London Mental Health and Crime Reaction is the name of my channel, and I just wanted to line this up with some theories that I have, that I've always been speaking about. I always go according to the timelines. This was happening around 2:20 a.m. that the audio picked up on Linda Lane. According to Chaos Sector, is analyzation, they heard a female yelling, "Oh my God, Ethan, oh my God," like something violent happened to Ethan. Now, if this is happening at 2:20 a.m., let's say if the Linda Lane footage is real, which I do believe it is actually, then it will line up so much with the female who said that her son received a text message from Ethan telling him that he was still at the Sigma Chi fraternity party and that wouldn't have got him home until 2:15, 2:20. And then pay attention to the Grub child that they're yelling out Xana's name and Ethan's name, and that is around 2:20 a.m. Isn't it strange that the police never seem to be clear from the very beginning about Ethan and Xana's timeline? I found that to be very interesting. At the beginning, they were asking the public for information of the couple's timeline. When Kaylee's sister, Olivia, corrected them with Kaylee's timeline being 1:56 that she arrived at home, the police and the FBI still did not correct it, even after she corrected them. So once the timeline is wrong, everything else automatically turns wrong. So the timelines will definitely make sense with what was happening at the Corner Club at 2:20, 2:15 a.m. That was when they were calling out Xana's name. I still believe the motive was Ethan getting Jack Showalter kicked out of the frat. Xana was a target too, and the motive was she used to always stand up for Ethan. According to the 4chan, they said Xana, may she rest in peace, was Ethan's mouthpiece. So there could be different motives, different targets. Well, now I want to focus on the timelines, what's happening with the couple. So let me play this. So once again, this is for fair use purpose. I'm reacting to this clip.
There is a female heard in the distance, as it sounds like it's coming from Queen Road Apartments. I can't really make out what she is saying, but the tone of her voice does seem as if there is a concern for something. She has a pleading tone in her voice, trying to get someone to listen or believe her about something. I tried to piece it together, and this is what I came up with. I definitely hear a question in the beginning, such as why did you, or why didn't you? The next segment is a bit unintelligible, but
If she heard the segment allegedly saying, why did you or why didn't you? Could it have been hoodie guy? Maybe, possibly, asking Ethan, Zano, Mario, Kaylee, why did you report me and get me kicked out of the frats? Or why did you report me and get me kicked out of the corner club? Or why did you all report me for sexual harassment? Could that be possible? Or could be, where are the rugs? There could be different theories, but I believe the Jack Showalter being kicked out of the frats, there is more facts, and being kicked out of the corner club lines up with the things we saw about Jack Showalter that night at the Grub truck. The girls ditched him. Maddie said, F you, mister, to him and Jovito, or one of them. So things do actually add up there. And the fact that he threatened Maddie and said, you know we're going to get you, Maddie. And let me add one thought. Hoodie guy could have been so upset that the girls ditched him. He got kicked out of his frats, Delta Tau Delt. He got kicked out of the corner club. That he could have decided to walk down quickly or jog it down, and he could have been in front of the house within literally 5 minutes. He's a professional junior wrestler. He's a hunter. He looks like a sportsman. To be doing such sports, you have to be really active and fit. We know that he has K-bars. So he could have confronted the victims at home, outside the house, or anywhere around those areas. Let's not forget he lives literally 1 minute from the 4 victims. Keep that in mind. And the fact that he left and drove to Boise, Idaho. He's carrying something in his jacket at the Grub truck. All that are reasons of concerns. He did not buy any food at the Grub truck. The girls did not look like they were very happy having him around. Kaylee was trying to take pictures of him in the background, kind of giving us a message, I believe.
you call the first time. Then, it sounds like she was interrupted by something or someone as we hear a physical force. There is fear in her voice as she says, stop, then, please stop. We know the mind can play tricks on you as you're hearing what is suggested, but words can be deciphered through distortion. You just have to piece together a logical statement. Considering the female is concerned about something, the logical statement aligns with the concern she had. That's the very definition of deciphering. I will add an audio effect to that segment to see if the words can be deciphered better. Examine. I would say that it's as close to what was stated without knowing exactly what was stated. Obviously, the tone in her voice is based on pleading with someone, such as asking for help about something. Of course, I could be wrong, but I could be right.
I totally agree. She could be wrong, but she could be totally right. This all adds up with the timeline that I have been trying to research since the beginning of this case. I've always said that something happened to the couple from 2:15 right up to maybe 2:30, and something happened to Kaylee and Maddie after 2:52, after the last phone call to Jagdi, who was allegedly sleeping. And his alibi, the only person who can confirm, is Adam. And Adam's alibi can be confirmed by Jagdi. Interesting. Is this when Maddie and Kaylee came home? 1:56?
Not sure what that sound was. Perhaps it's from rusty axles from a vehicle. But at this point, there is someone heard running near Linda Lane Apartments. There is also a male heard, and a group heard laughing, a female, and what sounds like a group of males. Did you catch it? A male says Ethan's name. The audio has been distorted in my opinion, but certain words, or statements that are clearly heard, such as Ethan's name, can't be distorted to the point the words are indistinguishable, you understand? Just enough to fuzzy everything up, assuming nobody would go as far as extracting the audio. Other audio, which is hard to decipher in its original state, are essentially left as is. A female states, "Oh my God," and a male says Ethan's name. Now, the manner in which she makes this statement clearly indicates there is something violent that has taken place. It's not a typical OMG reaction or response, it's literally an OMG response to something that startled her. If she was startled or even shocked, and the male says Ethan's name, isn't it logical to suggest that Ethan had been harmed or even was discovered deceased? Let's examine once more with an audio filter. Now we all heard it together. That male called Ethan's name. This was approximately around 2:21 a.m. Now we all heard it together. That male called Ethan's name. This was approximately around 2:21 a.m. Something tells me that they are searching for Ethan. Not sure who these individuals are, but based on what I'm detecting as far as the setting, I think Ethan has, quote, disappeared.
So this is around 2:21 a.m. Pay attention, 2:21 a.m. Let me show you what else was happening at 2:21 a.m. This was first captured by Grizzly True Crime, the beginning of this case. At least I first saw it in her channel. Pay attention to the right-hand side, and I found the real text. She took it from in Facebook. It says, "This is so hard to watch. Ethan texted my son at 2 a.m. and he's almost positive they were still at the Sigma Chi at the time, based on what the text said. That wouldn't put them at the house until at least 2:10 to 2:15 a.m. My son called the tip line and reported this days ago, but they're still saying they think Ethan and Zana were at the house at 1:45 a.m. Frustrating. So Ethan and texted his friend. This was at 2 a.m., 2:10 to 2:15. And he said he was still at the Sigma Chi fraternity party, so that wouldn't have got him home until 2:20, till after 2:20. And that should have been changed. The same goes with the timeline of Maddie and Kaylee. Both of them reached home at 1:56, and the FBI and the police did not change their timeline either. So now let's go back to the couple's timeline. If he texted his friend at 2:15, then my question is, it can't be a coincidence that Linda Lane adds up at 2:20 with what is being analyzed, that they could hear a female yelling, "Oh my God, Ethan, Ethan." So that is at 2:15 a.m. They would have been at home by 2:20 a.m. And we can hear the female saying, "Oh my God, Ethan." Like something happened to Ethan. And if that is the case, that would be at 2:20 a.m. So like I've always said from the beginning, they changed their timeline so that they could distract us and confuse us, in my opinion.
A female states, "Oh my God," and a male says Ethan's name. Now, the manner in which she makes this statement clearly indicates there is something violent that has taken place. It's not a typical OMG reaction or response, it's literally an OMG response to something that startled her. If she was startled or even shocked, and the male says Ethan's name, isn't it logical to suggest that Ethan had been harmed or even was discovered deceased? Now clearly there is something going on here, which is cause for concern. The female says something I will try to decipher in a moment. But the male is heard saying, "No, no, no," as if he was scared of the female screaming something out. And surely, that's what she did. Let's listen once more to decipher what was said, because obviously the male was scared to death about what was going on. I can't really make out what the female is saying, but clearly she's pissed off. But I think I detected the word police in there at the end.
That was scary if it's true. And I do believe it's true. But the question is, where was this going on? Was it inside 1122 Kings Road? Was it at Banfield? Was it at Taylor Avenue? Was it Queens Road? And if that much screaming and yelling was going on, the whole of the Linda Lane, Queens Road, Taylor Avenue, they would have heard it. So why are people pretending that they haven't heard anything, that they were asleep? I clearly believe this is when something happened to Ethan. I agree with all this analyzation, but I didn't hear police. I heard more like God or something like that. But it's kind of strange that the police were at the Banfield and they did not hear anything. the body cam at Banfield of the undercover police actually caught a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." So I wonder if it was from the same audio in Linda Lane or if it was when Maddie and Katie were unalived. And I believe they were unalived after 2:52, after they made the last calls to Jack D. Now let's go back to this Linda Lane footage and let me compare it to what else is going on at 2:20. And it's shocking. Now this is going on at 2:20 a.m. Besides the Linda Lane footage where you hear, "Oh my God, stop it, stop." And it's quite strange. At 2:20 a.m., at the same time, the people at the Grub truck were yelling out, "Zana, Zana, Zana," his name, and they kept on saying, "Ethan, let's go, Ethan." And then you have Jovito aiding the girl with the black jacket and the blonde and black hair, the highlights on her hair, behind Jovito. You see all of them glued on their phone. So was this when Zana and Ethan got unfortunately unalived? Why aren't the FBI and the police investigating all this? So I made this clip and I will be making a follow-up about the Linda Lane. I'm one YouTube creator who hasn't spoke much about the Linda Lane because Taylor Avenue, the Banfield and the Grub truck are legit videos, and it's been confirmed by the police and by the family. But Linda Lane hasn't been confirmed. So we don't know if it's been edited, if anything's been added or not. But it can't be a coincidence. Pay attention to the repeat aggressive pattern that is happening that night, especially at the Grub truck, Banfield, Corner Club, because it's from the Corner Club. I personally believe everything happened. What did he tell Adam? It started from there. Shawalter was busy threatening Maddie on the way to the Grub truck. Maddie told him, "F you, mister," to him and Jovito. She pointed a finger out at them. Why were they harassing her? He kept on saying on his TikTok interview, being unmindful and unprofessional and lack of empathy, saying that Maddie had she was glass-eyed and she was intoxicated and she was falling on people and all. And this was like literally a couple of hours after these young 4 victims lost their life tragically and brutally. Jovito's roaming around with his Coca-Cola can, flashing it everywhere at the Corner Club. Very strange behaviors are going on. Nobody seems to be reacting. As soon as the crowd starts yelling Xana's name, Jovito pulls out his phone, and the guy with the long hair, Aiden, I believe his name is, they all start pulling out their phones. So pay attention. Something happened to Xana and Ethan after 2:15, 2:20 a.m. That's what I've always believed. It's 2 separate attacks, 2 separate incidents, and 2 separate motives. But all 4 were the targets. Let's not get that wrong. All 4 were the targets. There's no collateral damage here. Whoever came for these 4 innocent victims knew who they wanted. They backdoored them. So let me know what you're thinking in the comments. But I'm summarizing by saying as day goes by, and it's been past 2 years and 2 months, I'm more sure, and I stick more with the theory that I was put out to my channel. It was two separate incidents. Ethan and Zana were unalived, were deleted at least half an hour before Maddie and Kaylee even came home. The surviving roommates know everything, and I wonder what escapatory evidence Bethany Funk has. Please like, share, and subscribe.